Welcome back, everyone. And today we're going to be taking a look at another character that got a rework in the Probius patch, and it is Arthas Menethil, the Lich King. Recently, I did do a video on a rework that he got, but Blizzard felt that they needed to give him another rework. That he wasn't really being chosen the way that I think that they were intending him to be. So you see, in the armor patch, they gave him, they made him one of those characters that had the armor by default. He has 15 physical armor by default, and this is the reason why. This is why I think that they're intending him to be. They even changed his description, where it says, a tank who is proficient against melee physical attackers, slowing them. That, I believe, is what Blizzard is going for here. They wanted, based on what I saw in the patch notes and the comments from the developers, they want Arthas to be a viable choice to be a solo warrior tank against auto attack comps. That is what their intention is for Arthas. Recently, he was mainly only being chosen not really as a solo tank, but as a bruiser, as we like to affectionately call those warriors. Someone who is not necessarily that great at soloing, being a solo tank, but is more so better suited at being able to deal out more damage, as well as being able to kind of be a frontliner. They wanted him to be able to be a solo tank who could be able to help out against melee assassins and other physical, auto attack enemies, like the Butcher or Kerrigan. I would imagine that their intention, Thrall, Butcher, Kerrigan, Illidan, Varian, Samuro, maybe Zeratul, Greymane. That's what I think that they're going for here. They didn't really change anything in his base kit, although I did notice that they changed some of his base stats, like his overall health has been increased and things like that, and they reduced his damage. They want to make him more tanky and less damagey. They want to make him more of a choice as a solo tank. So they changed some of his talents as well. Eternal Hunger has been changed. It's uncapped now, and I tested this in try mode. It is uncapped. Increases the mana restores to maximum 40 and its damage by 4. And it's uncapped, which means every time you use it to damage someone, it increases its damage. It gets stronger over time. And, oh my gosh, I tested this in try mode with the complete quest thing. It did so much damage. It 2-hit a tower. I'm just saying. If you want to go damage, you can go that route. Or Frost Presence, which focuses on Howling Blast. Root enemy heroes with Howling Blast. Root 5 heroes have its cooldown reduced by 2 seconds. Root 10 heroes have its range increased by 30%. Root 20 heroes and Howling Blast will root enemies in its path. So they took some of those talents and they put them into the base, into this talent here. They combined them. Or Rhyme. Very interesting name for block. Every 5 seconds, gain 60 physical armor against the next enemy hero basic attack, which goes with the 15 to make it 75 armor. Reducing the damage taken by 60%, stores up to 3 charges. As far as I know, Lieutenant Morales is the only other hero in the game that has a block talent that stores up to 3 charges. Everybody else has like 2 charges. But this is where I can see they are trying to make Arthas an extremely good choice for those who deal physical auto attack damage. Being able to give him 3 charges and, give him that much physical armor, that's huge. So, level 4, we've got Frozen Waste. You can't increase the damage of Frozen Tempest anymore. This is where I think they're going for more of a Frozen Tempest kind of build here. Frozen Tempest mana cost is reduced by 4 per second, which would make it 11 per second. Damage enemy heroes with Frozen Tempest. After damaging enemy heroes 150 times with Frozen Tempest, the movement and attack speed slows of Frozen Tempest lasts an extra 1.5 seconds against enemy heroes. You can have this increase Arthas' attack speed. And then you can still go with Death Lord if you want to go for the Q build. And then I've always been conflicted. This level 7 is still the same. It's still these 3 same talents. If you're going for Q build, obviously Immortal Coil. But I think if we're going to be going with the new Frozen Tempest build that I can see, I think Rune Tap might be a good way to go. Plus Icebound Fortitude, if you're going for a more tanky version of Arthas, that's also a really good choice. Level 10, they actually buffed Army of the Dead. They didn't do anything with Sindragosa. They only made Army of the Dead stronger. So you can see they're trying to make it much more viable and make him more tanky. I'm not sure how many people are ever going to choose Sindragosa anymore ever again with the way that they buffed Army of the Dead. The funny thing, though, is that it doesn't say here how much damage the ghouls do. It only says that you can summon them, how long they last, and how much they heal Arthas. Level 13, we've got Shattered Armor, where Howling Blast will reduce the enemy's armor by 15 for 4 seconds. Frost Strike is still there. And then Biting Cold. Each second that an enemy is damaged by Frozen Tempest, it deals a 12.5% bonus damage, up to 50% bonus. And then at 16, we've got Remorseless Winter. Enemy heroes that remain within are rooted. That's still the same there. Frostborn Feet's still there and still is Embrace Death. And then at level 20, it's pretty much still exactly the same. Obviously, though, with Legion of Northrend becoming a more viable choice if you take the ghouls. Death Advance and Anti-Magic Shell, though, are still the same. Oh, no, I take that back. Actually, Anti-Magic Shell did get changed. Activate to make Arthas immune to spell damage for 3 seconds and heal Arthas for 25% of the damage prevented. So the wording is a little different now. So yeah, I think what we're going for here, if they're going to make him more tanky, is Rime, probably Frozen Wastes, along with Rune Tap, Army of the Dead, Biting Cold, Remorseless Winter, and then Legion of Northrend. Or maybe Anti-Magic Shell if you're going up against a lot of spellcasters. And Death's Advance is also pretty interesting. Especially if you're going to be using that along with Frozen Tempest. A Frozen Tempest build to kind of like keep them within Frozen Tempest. Seems like a very interesting change to Arthas. And considering that I really enjoy playing Arthas, I'm kind of excited about the idea of having him be a solo tank. Being able to, if I have to be a tank in Hero League, that Arthas would not be a bad choice. Yeah, there are a lot of warrior choices and tank choices, but now Arthas seems like a pretty decent choice. So let's take a look at the new Arthas in action. The Lich King. Or rather, the former Lich King. If you are playing World of Warcraft these days, you will know what I'm referring to. Especially if you play a Death Knight. Which, keep an eye out for my own Death Knight making a return. Making an appearance in the Legion expansion. Alright, so we are on Blackheart's Bay. Let's see. The teams today are Arthas, Uther, Tracer, Nazebo, and Raynor versus Muradin, Brightwing, Samuro, Sergeant Hammer, and Asmodee. Ooh, Sergeant Hammer. Perfect. Alright, Rime. Let's try this out. Let's try this build.
Alright, I'm giving you 10 seconds.
I like how this mount matches how he looks. Looks very much like a mount he would ride into battle.
Let the battle begin!
Let the battle begin! Yarr! I've always loved the announcer on this map. Yahar! I'm a pirate! Arr! Collect me booty! Someone had a lot of fun when they were coming up with this map. And the voice actor, I'm sure, had fun as well. Of course, Death Coil can still be able to heal. I can definitely see the mana reduction being pretty good here, because that's the one thing I've always noticed and kind of like had an issue with Arthas, is how quickly he can run out of mana. but I've always loved his area of effect damage here. Like, especially against someone like that, like a Samuro.
Pop up your doubloon, and maybe I'll soon be cannon on your balls. Double kill.
I used to take the damage increase for Frozen Tempest, but I think the mana reduction plus the quest is going to be a pretty good option to take. Look at that. I like the indicator that you can see who is, like, performing well. Who is on fire? Which right now is Arthas. Frostmourne hungers. But the cool thing is that they didn't take away the Frostmourne hungers build. So if you want him to be able to be a bruiser, he can still do that. So if you want him to be a solo tank against auto attackers, you can do that with this, you know, block Frozen Tempest build. But if you want him to be a bruiser to deal damage, you can still do a Frostmourne Hungers build. It makes Arthas, like, to me, just makes it seem like he is a much better choice now, like, to play as. Look at this. Look at how much I'm slowing down Hammer. But again, the mana cost. I'm just gonna have to go back now that I've, yeah, that's slow. And the fact that they increase his base overall health, max health, and health regeneration is also pretty important to note. Definitely giving him more health and more health regen is huge if you're going to make him a more viable choice as a solo tank warrior. Now, the cool thing is, I've learned this about some of these talents, this is going to stack against someone like Samuro, because his mirror images would count as damaging an enemy hero. Yeah, see? His mirror images count. So it just makes it where it can be able to help me stack up my quest even more. There's Rune Tap where I can see it be able to help me heal. I've always, you know, like for certain maps, I've always thought Arthas was a really good choice. Like, Infernal Shrines, where area effect damage against those guardians is pretty important. So if this is going to help make Arthas a more viable choice, either to fill either role as a tank or as a warrior, I'm all for it. Though they did reduce his damage, so I don't know if he's going to be a good choice as a bruiser anymore. Oh, but man, look at that. Oh, I love... That is just stacking with Samuro's images there. Look at that! 127 to 150 already. Ah!
Let's see how you handle two chests at once.
Even with the mana reduction, I already ran out of mana. Feed me your rage. Well, he's gonna run out of mana still, but
I am capturing a mercenary camp.
at least he'll still be able to have, you know, get lots of health or like keep his health up.
This world
He doesn't do that much damage just on his own, but I think his survivability would also help him be able to get camps. Aw, thanks, Tracer. Thanks, love. Cheers, love.
I am capturing a mercenary camp.
If I spam my abilities while using Frozen Tempest, my mana just goes away so quickly. It's always been one of my issues with Arthas is how quick his mana can go when you're using Frozen Tempest. But I guess that's part of the way of learning how to master Arthas is learning mana management. Frozen Tempest, really good for getting this chest. I have 11 coins. I'm gonna go turn in. Yeah, you guys go ahead and turn your 1 coins.
Seems we've reached an accord. Let's show your enemies a jolly good time.
You can see up here also, I forgot to point this out, that you can see everyone's heroics that were chosen.
Main cannon, fire! One less fort.
Go here and help counter this push from Azmodan. Maybe we'll get this camp.
I love it.
Nazebo! You got me in the zombie wall.
Cease fire! They want more. They'll need to pay up first.
Stop trapping me in your zombie wall. And now I'll just go turn in all by myself.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
From my army of the dead.
Keep destroy! All cannons hold!
Run! Is the AI dumb enough to let me hearth right here? Yes, it is. So obviously I'm not doing that much damage. I've got 3 kills though. But you can probably tell that this is a build that is not really meant to do damage as much as meant to slow the opposition and, you know, give your teammates, like, it would give my damage dealers like Rainer, Nazebo, and Tracer the opportunity to be able to deal their damage. That's kind of what the intent behind this rework and this specific build I'm working on or trying out here is meant for. That's the intention, I think. Make him more tanky, give him more survivability. I mean, I've still got my 3 charges here, where he's not really meant to be the damage dealer, but rather just kind of like the one who slows them down and keeps them in place, while your teammates are the ones who deal the damage. Alright. Have it root enemy heroes. At the moment, I don't see the enemy heroes on the minimap. Oh, because they were getting the boss. Alright, they're pushing top. Let's push bottom. Gazebo! Stop it with the zombie wall!
The enemy's taking it to you! What good's a pirate without a little treasure?
So my army of the dead just gives the fort more targets to hit. There we go. See, Brightwing got rooted. Oh, that's so good. All I have to do is just kind of body block them and I root them in place. Oh, that's going to be so good. Meanwhile, their boss is getting our keep, but we're about to win the game, so it doesn't matter.
You just lost the key.
Okay.
Jolly good for a bunch of landlubbers.
It's a shame, though, that you can't, like, increase the radius of Frozen Tempest, but, I can definitely see what the intention is. And I could definitely see, I wasn't really, you know, obviously when I'm not getting attacked all that often in AI matches, it's going to be a little hard to really gauge how it works out. But it's something that I could definitely see. Oh, what did I oh, okay. It's definitely something that I could see be strong against certain compositions. If you have a dive-heavy enemy team, like a Kerrigan or a Butcher, I could definitely see this being strong. Where now I could definitely see Arthas be a counter to those who like to pick... Oh, and Artanis. Let's not leave out Artanis. Artanis is also usually a high choice with the way he dives in. I could definitely see this being strong against Artanis. Thrall to some extent, but he doesn't necessarily... I love that they have now incorporated the terminology that we use into their descriptions. It says, a bruiser who can hold his own in a lane of battle. Hold on. I'm going to have to take a look at each of these descriptions to see how many of the descriptions here have changed to kind of help us understand the character better. The fact that they now consider Thrall a bruiser instead of an assassin, when we usually gave those terms to warriors like Sonya or Varian or Artanis these days. So, but the Lich King is in a position where I think I think what Blizzard is going for, I think it might work. I think I could definitely end up seeing Arthas being chosen if you see compositions that feature heavy melee attack heroes like Sonya, Kerrigan, the Butcher especially. Illidan, I think he would make a good counter to Illidan with Frozen Tempest. That would definitely work against Illidan. Varian to a certain extent. I can, you know, I think I see what they're going for. And I think it's probably going to work, especially with a build like the one I just came up with Rhyme and a Frozen Tempest build. I think it's going to work out pretty well. So that is the new Arthas, and I think I probably like this version a bit more than the other. The last one was able to do some decent damage with the Frostborn Hungers build, but I think the fact that this makes him a more decent choice as a solo tank, I think this is probably better. So you can still go with this, and the fact this is uncapped, I'm telling you guys, if you can somehow be able to work this in or like pull this off, the fact that it's uncapped, it does a ton of damage. if you can stack it up. I don't think you'll be able to stack up the way I was able to see how it works in try mode. But just check it out in try mode and see what I'm talking about. And someone else, another warrior, got a rework. And you know, whereas Arthas is meant to counter physical attackers, another warrior got a rework to be a solo tank who could who could counter spell attackers, ability attackers. And we'll be taking a look at him when we come back. Stay tuned.